Okay, so I guess we're live now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, let's make sure.
We just need to make sure that we're going live.
Yeah, we are live now. So let's get started.
No
Or let's just
problem.
wait like 3 minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
please. So you're going live on your personal page?
Yeah, Facebook page, not my account.
Because I can't see the live.
Ah, yeah, the English gamer. Just a second.
Ah,
Just a second. I'll send
it's
it to
on the English Gamer then.
you. Yeah. Okay.
This is your official page, right?
Yeah. Okay, I sent it.
I can't see the live.
Got it?
No.
Sent it on WhatsApp.
Yeah, now I can see myself.
Okay, that's great. Let's share it.
I thought it would be on your personal page.
No, I also shared it now.
Okay, that's cool. So, hello, guys, can you please tell me, can you hear me? Hello, everybody, can you hear me? Is my voice clear? Is my voice clear? Please confirm. My voice clear? Is my voice clear? Please confirm. My voice clear? Is my voice clear? Please confirm.
No comments yet. So guys, if you can just hear us, just
maybe
leave a
I just
comment.
need to feel that there are people attending and commenting as well.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the English Gamer.
Yeah, we have comments here.
Okay.
Yeah, we have comments here. Yeah, hello, doctor. It's clear.
Is my voice clear? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Shaima Abdel Fattah says it's clear.
Okay, I think now.
Okay, so we can start now.
Okay, no problem at all.
Okay. So hello, everyone. This is Nurhan Swidki, the English Gamer once again, and welcome to IELTS Talks podcast. On IELTS Talks podcast, we have guests from all around the world. We have IELTS trainers, IELTS teacher trainers, and also IELTS candidates with a band score of 7+. Last time we had our first episode with Dr. Ghazi, Anas Ghazi from Jordan, and you can find the episode on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, and also other podcast platforms. And today we have a very special guest from Egypt, Dr. Muhammad Khalil Musa. Welcome, Dr. Muhammad.
Hello, how are you doing, Mr. Nurhan? It's just a pleasure and an honor having you with me in this podcast. And I really wish you and the English Gamer all the best.
Okay, thanks a lot. So first of all, let's introduce Dr. Muhammad Khalil Musa. Of course, and lots of you know him, but just let's make sure that all the persons here know him. So let's introduce Dr. Muhammad. He is the Nile TESOL president, and he's an English teacher and teacher trainer at the American University in Cairo. He's also a lecturer in Cairo University, and his major is teaching academic writing and IELTS. He's got a number of academic books in the market, and he's known for his live videos on English learning and the importance of professional development. So welcome, Dr. Muhammad.
Hello. Thank you very much, Mr. Nurhan, for inviting me.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome. So, of course, I introduced you formally, but can you just tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay, simply, as you've just mentioned, I work at Cairo University. My name is Mohammed, and I've been working in the field of teaching for more than 20 years. I graduated in 1999 from the Department of English Language and Literature, Faculty of Arts, Cairo University. So if you make a kind of a calculation, you find that I've been teaching for almost 24 years.
Wow.
And throughout those 24 years, I worked in Egypt and outside Egypt as well. I've been exposed to more than 50 nationalities across the Gulf, Egypt, and Europe as well. And currently, I'm the president of Nile TESOL. Nile TESOL is a non-profit organization. We're not taking any profit from that organization. Our sole purpose is simply to serve the community of ELT by providing them with free of charge professional development events. That's all. So Nile TESOL, we provide free events, webinars to teachers of English across the world. We have joint projects with other sister TESOL associations like TESOL Greece, TESOL Turkey, TESOL America, IATEFL. So I'm in the field of teacher training as well as English language teaching and of course IELTS.
Yeah. Let me say that at the beginning, of course, lots of people wanted you exactly to be with us, actually. And of course, I wanted to invite you and you accepted our invitation. Thank you so much. And I also would like to say that this podcast is very special, not just for people out there, but also for me, because I have to say that I took the course with you 5 years ago. I learned a lot from you. Your course was, incredible, really. Thank you so much for everything.
I do appreciate your acknowledgement, by the way.
Yeah, sure. I have
You're such a wonderful colleague. Thank you very much. And I'm so happy that I'm going live with you here on the English Gamer. And I just want to make sure that my voice is clear. So guys, please, I want you all to confirm that you can hear me live. Please confirm in your comments. I'm reading your comments. So please just make sure that the voice is clear. Yes, Ms. Nurhan. And by the way, guys, before I start with Ms. Nurhan, I just want to say that I do appreciate all your input to English students. I'm so impressed by the amount of hard work and dedication you're providing to your students.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so yeah, it's clear. Shima, thanks, Shima. Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you about how have you started your career as an IELTS trainer?
The whole thing started with my return, after my return from King Abdulaziz University. So in 2015, I had to come back from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to work at the American University in Cairo. And the first thing they asked me for was to take the IELTS exam. And I told them, how come do you want me to take the IELTS exam? And I've been working as a teacher by that time for 16 years. But the American University in Cairo asked me by that time that it was a must to take the IELTS, score at least 7 academic to be able to rejoin the AUC. So before traveling to Saudi Arabia, I worked at the AUC, but after returning 6 years later, I had to rejoin the AUC by taking the IELTS. And in the first time I took the IELTS, I got band 8 and then band 8.5. So the head of the department by that time told me, oh my God, you got band 8. I said, yeah, I don't know if that's good or not. She said, wow, that's amazing. That's impressive. Can you please teach IELTS at the AUC? And from that thing started. So I started my career as an IELTS teacher by being a student, by being a candidate. So this is something very important. And this is kind of one of the pieces of advice that I'm going to provide to a number of teachers who are trying or are attempting to be IELTS trainers, that you have to go through the whole experience of the student. Okay, so the students go through a different experience, different from the teacher perspective. And of course, you know quite well, in the world of language, truth is not certain. Truth is not 100% certain. So you see things from the student's point of view, which is different from you see things from the teacher's point of view. And that's why when I took the IELTS and I scored 8 and then 8.5, I started to break down the experience of the student and try to reshape the whole experience, try to deliver the experience as a teacher. I know,
Yeah.
but and by the way, once again, I started working as an IELTS teacher after my PhD. So I had the academic background. This is something very important. And of course, I don't want to talk about irrelevant points, but sometimes it baffles me or it confuses me when I find some teachers who are 5.5 and 6 and they want to teach IELTS to help students get band 7. You understand what I mean? How can any teacher help students score 7 if he or she herself or himself is band 5?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why if you want to teach students how to get band 5, you have to be band 6. If you want to help students to get band 7, you have to be band 8. So the whole thing started by coincidence, by simply chance. After returning from Saudi Arabia, I had to take the IELTS exam to rejoin the AUC. And so I had to go through the whole, the whole headache of the IELTS exam.
Yeah. So I have a question. Aren't you willing to take IELTS again in order to score band 9? Or you think, no, 8.5 is enough, so I'm just working
No, I really want
now.
to take, I want to take the IELTS again. I really want to take the IELTS again to brush up my experience.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes when I have a problem now, I have a huge problem, is that I've been teaching IELTS now for 8 years. Okay, 8 years of teaching IELTS is a problem. I'm using is because I'm talking about the experience, not the 8 years. The whole 8 years of being a teacher is simply, it's a good experience, but at the same time, I'm planning to take the IELTS again within a couple of months to relive the experience of the student. Yeah. So sometimes it's very much like you are a teacher, but you want to be a student again. So you go to a teacher trainer and tell him, I want to take a course to relive the experience and to go through the experience of being a student. And this is something which adds to your overall experience and expertise as an IELTS trainer.
Yeah,
and by the way,
that's incredible, really. Yeah.
I just want to tell you something quite important. I never ever called the IELTS teacher a teacher. So let's coin the terminology. I don't ever describe the IELTS teacher as a teacher. I call the IELTS facilitator or mentor. What we do with our candidates is not simply teaching.
Yeah, right.
We show them how to study, how to pull yourself together when you feel down in the dumps, how to stand up once again when you feel down, how to listen attentively, how to read carefully, how to write and stay focused on the topic. This is what I called mind coaching. This is not teaching. Teaching is simply, I provide you with information and I'm so happy. What we do in IELTS is simply IELTS mentoring and coaching. And this is something you've got to add to the questions of the interview here, is that the IELTS teacher is not a teacher. He's a mentor. He does something very important called mind coaching. Why mind coaching? Because there is a huge discrepancy, huge gap between Cambridge and our Arab education.
Yeah.
Our Arab education is so distant from Cambridge. Let's be honest about that. Let's be honest. Right. If we want to say the truth, we have to be honest, and honesty is the best policy. So Cambridge is one of the top 5 universities across the world. And the best university in Egypt, Cairo University, is something like 1,000 and something in the ranking. So when you provide training to your students, you feel the gap in education. You have to provide them with the critical thinking, not just language, how to be on track. That's all.
Yeah, okay. So let me take you to another question. You told me you have different nationalities in your courses, right? So what nationalities do you have?
Okay, thanks to God, thanks to Allah, I've got about 14 different nationalities. 14 different nationalities from Palestine, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Saudis, Kuwaitis. This course, I've got one Qatari candidate, of course, Egyptians, and you'll be surprised, one Tunisian, one Algerian, and one Moroccan as well. And beautifully, I've got someone from Somalia.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And he doesn't speak Arabic 100%, but he's trying to catch, of course, some Arabic, learn Arabic and English at the same time. Okay. So when you find this kind of cultural diversity, within the course adds to the energy of the candidates, the energy. So for example, I do respect students from Palestine, Syria. When you find one of your students is a Syrian living in Turkey, and with the Turkish earthquake, he is still studying. Do you understand what I mean? A student is sending me that there was an earthquake in Turkey, in southern Turkey, and that Syrian guy found himself outside his home because of the earthquake. And he's sending me a message saying, I'm sorry, I can't send my assignments. I'll be late. Why? Because of internet outage? No, it's not because of internet outage or disconnection. Simply because my building fell after the earthquake. So when you send such messages to other nationalities from Egypt, Algeria, Lebanon, they feel, of course, this boosts their morale, boosts their positive energy. And that's what I'm talking about, that when you have this cultural diversity, you as a teacher can manipulate that to the benefit of all the students.
Yeah. So are all your students Arabs?
You can say 95% of my students are Arabs, and 5% in small groups are from India, Pakistan, and recently from Singapore. Those students, maybe there are 12, 15 students from India, Pakistan, Singapore. They're so committed.
Yeah.
So I provide them with the IELTS techniques, tips, and tricks in 10 days, and they finish everything.
Wow.
So that, okay, I don't want to be,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound racist. I don't want to sound racist.
But the mindset is different. Yeah.
I don't want to sound racist. I'm an Arab, and I'm so proud of being an Arab. But the problem is, this takes me back to the same point of educational background. Because of the educational background of some Arabs, what happened is that Arab students take a lot of time to study, and they need to be more committed. Number 3, most of them don't like to send things before deadline. However, students from India, Pakistan, I had one student from China, Singapore, they finish what you give them and they tell you we need more.
Wow.
I tell them, guys, we took a course yesterday, all the speaking techniques with important speaking topics. What else do you need? We finished them in 2 days. We need more. So teaching such candidates from a different cultural background could be enriching and draining. Ironically, it's draining because you have to feed them all the time. They're always starving for more knowledge. I don't know, guys, if okay, and you can see one of the comments here in your live, one of my students from Libya. Yeah. And I just want to tell something, a big hello and a big, of course, I'd like to send my regards to all students from Libya. They are actually, I can say they are champions, because given the fact that there is a kind of a political turmoil and political instability, and they're studying within all that. Thank you.
Okay, so let me also ask you about the problems the Arabs have when they study for IELTS.
Okay, Arab students are decent. Yeah. Arab students, they are really kind of so passionate, very emotional. When they like you as a teacher, they look up to you as a brother or to you as a sister. I love my Arab students because they look at me as a brother, as a father sometimes, as a mentor. And by the way, this is totally different from the non-Arab nationality. Non-Arab, you are only a teacher. I pay you so that you give me the information. Full stop, period. However, so that's the end of the story for them. However, for the Arab candidates, it's totally different. You find students who are so emotional and so passionate, and they're so dedicated when they like you as a brother. The only problem is commitment. That's the only problem, commitment. Guys, please submit the essays. Okay, don't worry about that. And then they don't submit. Please answer the speaking examiners. Okay, we'll do that. Arab students are decent. They're so good. I really like them. They're so passionate. But they have to live up to their dreams. Live up to their dreams. I have a dream. I am ready to die for my dream. Indians, Pakistanis, Chinese students are ready to sleep for 3 hours only to get the band they want. They have a target, go get it, period, done. Yeah. However, when it comes with the Arab students, the only problem is that they need to be more committed. That's it. So when I have Arab students with this, with this ability to be committed, they can easily get band 7 and 8. Yeah. And by the way, I want to add something, that if you develop this kind of commitment within you as a student, you are simply preparing yourself for the West. You're preparing yourself for the university, academic life, immigration, because the West has become the first world simply because of commitment, professional people. And they are human beings like us. Maybe we Arabs are more passionate, we are more religious. I can see that there are so many good things in us, but we need to be more professional, more hardworking. Yeah, you're right. So we've been talking about IELTS candidates. So now let's move on to talk about teachers. How could English teachers start their career as IELTS trainers or facilitators or whatever? By taking the IELTS exam. Yeah. First step, go get the IELTS exam. Go through the experience. So I cannot teach students all the details of the IELTS unless I myself as a teacher have gone through this. Because IELTS is a combination of 3 things. IELTS is a combination of language, techniques, and exam skills. Yeah. In other words, you can find students with a very high level of proficiency. However, they panic inside the exam. Mm-hmm. So I have seen students whose level in English is band 8 outside the exam. Inside the exam, he's band 6 because of stress. Okay, and vice versa. You can find students who are band 6 outside the exam, but they know how to fake it until they make it.
Yeah.
Fake it until you make it. So at the end of the day, they get band 8 because they're confident, they know the techniques, and their English is good, not very high, but they know how to play the game.
So
teachers have to go through the exam, have to improve their English. Number 3, they have to know how to teach IELTS, because teaching IELTS needs lots of tricks, and it depends on something called scaffolding. You are building up a skill. You are telling the students, I'm not going to provide you with listening right away. Listen to the BBC 6 Minute, then TED Talks, then an IELTS exam, but you cannot provide them right away with listening.
Yeah, that's right. So you say the teacher needs to learn how to teach IELTS. So is there a special course teachers need to take, like how to teach IELTS or stuff like that?
Okay, I know I've been asked that question so many times, even in the conferences that I attend. Many conferences, I met teachers and they tell me we need something called teacher training of IELTS. I don't want you to be shocked, because I believe that there is nothing called teacher training IELTS. I'm sorry about this.
Yeah.
If you want to be an IELTS teacher, go take the exam, attend an IELTS course, attend as a student with an eye as a teacher. Because teacher training depends on theories, but I'm talking about practice. So what I'm planning to do, God willing, in 2024, is that I'm planning to develop something called teacher training IELTS. And the teacher training of IELTS will be 7 weeks of the course, plus 2 weeks follow-up for the teachers. So I want the students, I want the teachers to attend as students. And after taking the course and learning and understanding, I give them 2 extra weeks of self-assessment, peer observation, analysis of the students' evaluation. And then I ask them, some students, to see how the information was delivered. What I'm planning to do is that I provide something like 2 months, 6 weeks course plus 2 weeks of training, because teachers have to attend as students to get the heat. You know, it's very important to get the heat. The heat means the pressure. The pressure. You have to get the heat of IELTS. Yes. Okay,
so let me ask you a different question. So some people call you the king of IELTS. So what do you think what is the secret behind this kind of success?
Okay, thank you very much for asking that question.
You're welcome.
Of course, I'm not into titles. I don't like titles like he is the dragon of IELTS. A couple of weeks ago, an Indian student called me the magician of IELTS, the Harry Potter of IELTS, and all that. I'm not very much into titles, because I always believe that your work speaks for you, not the title.
Yeah.
Always remember that people who are so proud of their titles could be hollow deep inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's your work, dedication, that tell others what you actually do, not the title. Going back to your question, the secret of the so-called success, I don't see myself as successful, because I'm learning. I'm learning from my students.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy, but sometimes my students tell me, you are short-tempered. You are 1, 2, 3, 4. And sometimes I have to write after my students. I learn from my students.
Yeah.
Going back to your question, success, if you call it success, simply because I do everything with conscientiously, sincerely, So in other words, you'll be surprised. I'm very emotional. So I teach with passion, not profession. It's not just a matter of passion. It's not just a matter of profession. It's a matter of passion.
Yeah.
So when you teach with your emotions, you follow up with your students. You put them on track. Sometimes you shout at them like a father, like a caring father, like a responsible father. So, and that's why eventually they respect you and they like you as a father.
And actually, this takes me to the next question. Yeah, I have a question for you. So many people think sometimes you're tough in your courses and you shout at them. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I heard so many stories that students are spreading the rumor that I shout, that I keep shouting and I'm very strict. Once again, many students are spreading the rumor that I'm very serious, very strict, and I keep shouting. And I just want to tell you that this is not a rumor. This is a fact.
Yeah, I know that.
And this is why in my orientation session, I tell my students about the drawbacks of the course. I don't know, I think I may sound crazy. Students all the time in any session, we talk about the beauty of the course. However, I sometimes talk about the drawbacks of the course. One of the drawbacks is that I keep pushing my students to be committed. Pushing. Come back on track. Sometimes students don't like to leave their comfort zone. People like to fall asleep in their comfort zone. If you are asleep and I wake you up, you will feel disturbed, hurt, upset, and not relaxed. This is what happens. I keep pushing them, telling them, wake up from your comfort zone.
So you actually do that for their own good, right?
And of course, I do that as a father. But who likes that? Many don't like that. Many want to deceive themselves. They want to join the gym without going to the gym. They want to join the course without studying. Listen to me, Miss Nurihan. Everybody wants to go to heaven and nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to go to heaven and nobody wants to die.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm not whipping them. I'm simply telling them, remember your dreams. And that's why people don't like it.
Not all. Some people like that.
Thank you. Not all people like that. Yeah. Some people like it. And that's why some people travel at the end. Remember that 20% of people who want to travel actually travel. 80% dream and their dreams don't come true. Right. Because a dream needs dedication to be achieved, to be realized.
Yeah, so thank you for your answer. I'm sorry for the question.
No. By the way, I told you, I promised you to say the truth and nothing but the truth. Yeah. And I told you, you're definitely right. Sometimes I'm firm, sometimes I'm tough, and for their own general good. It's not out of any sadistic tendencies that I've got. I'm not sadistic.
Okay, so let's talk about some tips and tricks you want to give to ICE candidates.
Speaking. 1, listen, take notes, speak. You will never speak unless you listen. Listen, TED Talks. Listen to the BBC. Summarize and record yourself. Number 2, writing. Read The Guardian, read from The Guardian, from the Economist, read from the BBC website, read, summarize, rewrite.
Yeah.
Listening, don't listen right away. Listen to the IELTS listening exams, repeat the exam until you familiarize yourself. Don't expect yourself to get band 8 from the first go. Always remember, if you want to study IELTS, you have to be patient. Patient and consistent. Patience and consistency are the keys to band 8. When it comes to reading, you can read the exam in 3 hours. You don't have to stick to the time. And remember, the queen of all skills is what? What is the most important skill in life? The most important skill from listening, reading, writing, and speaking, the most important skill is listening. Listening is the queen of all skills. We were born to listen. At the very young age, when we were infants, we listened to be able to speak Arabic.
Yeah.
We have to listen to our parents. And then we have to read. And always remember that the first word in the Holy Quran was read. Listening and reading are very important, but listening is easier. So the major drawback that some students have is the lack of ideas. So if you want to, read, if you want to have more ideas to express yourself in speaking and writing, you have to read a lot. Read and listen. Read and listen. If you take 1 month of reading and listening, this will help you for 2 months in speaking and writing. Last tip and last piece of advice, don't expect yourself to speak right away or to write right away. Be patient, write, read, take notes, listen, take notes, and then write. And always remember that there are basics of academic writing. And they have to be familiar and fully aware of the basics of academic writing.
Yeah.
Once again, TED Talks is a treasure. TED Talks website, TED Talks website is a treasure. So the website itself is a treasure. It's full of precious videos about technology, education, and all that. And nowadays, I'm working on something crazy, which is a number of video clips about IELTS topics and ideas in form of animation, because my future project is providing IELTS ideas to children, because IELTS could be a way of providing information, not just to adults, but also to children. So for example, if I mention global warming, it's very important for children to know why the summer is very hot, or why sometimes winter is so late, the global warming and what's happening. So I'm trying to develop something called animation videos.
I wish you good luck with that. This is amazing.
And I'm going to make this for free.
Oh,
free for all parents, for all people, so that students get their heads around the topics.
Yeah, good luck with your project, Dr. Muhammad. So I guess I'm done with my questions. So now, if you have one more thing you want to add, or a piece of advice for candidates or for teachers.
Okay. I know that some teachers, when they provide IELTS to students, you have to fear God. You have to fear God in whatever you do. Don't play with the dreams of people. Don't play with their dreams. Some people are living for a dream. And when they find some teachers are playing with their dreams, they simply die. Don't tell the students, you're amazing, you are already band 8, and the student is band 5. Don't game with their dreams. Don't keep toying with their ambitions. Number two, the candidates and the students. Consider IELTS a journey of discovery of the Western culture. Consider IELTS a journey of improving your educational background, your language. If you consider IELTS as a journey, you will pass the journey, get the best of it, and get the score. If you think of the score only, you'll feel stressed and you will not get the score. If you study IELTS for language, you will get the score. Always remember that people nowadays are going through economic crisis. Many people cannot afford IELTS. Many people can't afford taking the exam more than once. The exam in Egypt costs £4,350. The exam in Saudi Arabia is almost 1,200 Saudi riyals. So people can't afford taking the exam more than once. So I want you to be well prepared to save your money, your life, your time, and your energy. Because if you go drained, if you become drained with no energy, you'll feel dead deep inside. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad. So I guess we don't have questions here. So if any of the fans has any question, you can just type it here. Okay, so Hussein Azizi, have you got a special course for your IELTS candidates? Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. Yes. I took a course.
No, he says, I mean a course book. Yeah, Mr. Hussein, yeah, there is a course book for the course, right?
Yeah. Okay, I have 6 books in the market for IELTS vocabulary and language, mainly for IELTS techniques vocabulary. Yes.
Yeah, very good.
And of course, a big thank you goes to Mr. Ali Sayed, one of our coordinators, who had a wonderful book in IELTS ideas and vocabulary.
Okay. Another question is, when will the next round start? Yeah.
This coming Friday.
Okay, this coming Friday.
At 2 p.m. And you're all invited, of course.
Another question is, can you tell us a daily plan for self-study?
Ready to wake up early. Are you ready to wake up early? It depends. If you're ready to wake up early, listen in the morning. Listen, then speak. Listen. Listen. Summarize, speak.
Yeah.
Return from work. Read, summarize, and write. And always remember, keep something called IELTS diary. IELTS diary means you keep writing down all the new words and vocabulary.
Yeah. Okay, so some people are asking about your course, so we can leave Engli-Vision page so that they can contact Engli-Vision, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, they thank you. Can the assessors add
Oh, yes, Hussein asked something else. I really like the question from Mr. Hussein Azizi. Thank you, Hussein, for asking such a question. Can the assessor's attitude affect the candidate's performance negatively? Well, yes. This is very true. Of course, if you ever find that some examiners are so tough or they have some facial expressions which are not welcoming, of course, yes, this definitely affects.
Yeah.
This definitely affects your performance during the speaking, and you have to complain, because if the speaking examiner is not professional enough, you have to complain.
Another question from Fouini Mehdi. I just want to know, is academic IELTS enough to work as an English teacher in the Gulf?
Okay. No, it's not enough.
She says,
you must have something like CELTA, TOEFL, TESOL certificates in teaching English. And now the Gulf countries take teachers with Band 7 academic. The Emirates, the UAE, the Emirati schools take Band 7.
So
yes, Erhab, you can complain, of course. You can, of course, write a complaint at the IDP or British Council about the attitude of the examiner. How can we teach listening skill in few steps? Teaching listening is simply a course. We can provide a course about how to teach listening, but simply before you provide listening, you have to scaffold your students by providing them first with 5 minutes, 6 minutes, note-taking techniques, note-taking. And then afterwards, you provide them with the vocabulary repeated in IELTS listening, and then you provide them with part 1, then part 1 and 2, then part 1 and 2 and 3, and finally all the 4 parts.
Okay. Another question is it important for keeping new vocab every day in sentences or learn from TED and videos?
Thank you. Of course, in sentences. When you learn a new word, put it in a sentence. For example, if I learn the word campaign, so I have to learn launch a campaign and then put it in a sentence, like we need to launch an awareness campaign to combat drugs. So always put the words in sentences.
Okay, one more question. English teachers in Egypt need general or academic?
Oh, yes. Teachers always need academic IELTS. Okay, B2 level is able to get 8,777. No, you will get 6.57.
Yeah.
8,777, this is C1.
Okay, Hossein also asks, what do you think of teaching candidates some templates to use in writing?
Yeah, templates do help. They do help. But the problem is that if you give one template for all types of writing, this is wrong. If we have 4 or 5 types of writing, you have to give a template for each level, for each type. But you cannot give one template for all types. And then you have to practice with them writing using these templates.
Okay, one more question. How can I help my children memorize new words? And this is a bit different, but we can help, I guess.
Pictures and photos and songs. With kids, pictures, photos, and songs. So the best thing for you is to show them videos, kids, and then you ask them to do something like a role play. Yes, yeah, Rehab, of course, you can, Rehab, you can contact me in person if you know me, if you got my number. So once again, what I'm saying is that kids need photos, pictures, games, videos. Sometimes I show my kids videos from Disney.
Yeah.
And then after that, they catch the words and they do something called role play.
How can I improve my writing skills?
By reading, summarizing, rewriting. By studying vocabulary chunks, chunk. Number 3, you can improve your writing by keeping a novel or a website you read every day for 1 hour. 1 hour of reading every day.
Okay. Muhammad Ali asks, so do you recommend taking pre-IELTS course?
If your level is B2 and you need the score kind of in a shorter time of period, the course will help you. But if you have ample time or you have enough time, you can study on your own.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's it. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Muhammad, for being with us today.
So
such
honored.
A pleasure.
Really, such an
my
honor
pleasure,
being with you.
Yeah, so thanks a lot, everyone. And actually, you can find the podcast on our Facebook page, also our YouTube channel, and also on other podcast platforms. We will leave all the links. Thanks a lot, and see you next time. Bye bye for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.